From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
We are learning new information tonight about two teenagers killed in a crash on their way to practice. Tim.
If you travel this route tonight, you know about these monsters. Created very dangerous driving conditions as vehicles went spinning out of control. We've got all of them on the night cam.
But first, are you tired of shoveling snow yet? Another snowstorm is brewing, and this one will impact your travel plans on the road and in the air. Thanks for being with us for the news tonight at 11. The snow doesn't arrive for another 24 hours, but the National Weather Service is already putting out the warning.
Yeah, latest snowfall of this very busy and snowy week is going to be the biggest one of the week. And Ben's here to start things off at 11. Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, we have been looking at model data that has just come in. The good news is this forecast looks pretty consistent. The bad news is this forecast looks pretty consistent because it is still looking bad for Thursday night and Friday. A winter storm watch has been posted, meaning conditions are favorable to see that winter storm for about the southern 2/3 of the area. And just because you're not in the watch doesn't mean you totally escape the snow. There is going to be accumulation in our north zone as well. We're going to take it hour by hour here at 8 a.m. on Friday morning. The commute's going to look, at least in the morning, very similar to what we went through this morning as far as the amounts go, but the snow's going to keep coming through the day. So by the time we get into the afternoon commute, even though it's going to be just about an inch here in our north zone, those totals will range to half a foot down here towards the state line, and the snow continues into the evening. We'll have a very wide range between 1 inch in the north and close to 8 inches, maybe plus, down in our south zone. And again, that's Thursday night through the day on Friday. Tomorrow morning, dry and cold. Single digits to get started, only 17 by lunch. We'll talk about yet another round of snow before the week is done coming up. Now is as good a time as ever, though, to download our free Local Forecasters app. It's got interactive radar, weather alerts, and so much more right in the palm of your hand. Just search WDIV in your app store. Devin?
All right, Ben, and our roller coaster weather pattern this winter has created an absolute nightmare on the roads. Potholes combined with slick roads making for a dangerous white knuckle drive tonight. Tim Pamplin has the night cam on I-94 where police have been responding to a number of spinouts. Tim.
Michigan State Police and MDOT just arriving on the scene, and the scene is bonkers. Potholes are sending cars careening out of control. Take a look down there. There you see the culprits appeared throughout the course of the evening, creating downright dangerous conditions. Look at that pickup truck in front of that gasoline hauler, spinning out of control wildly, managed to regain control, went about his way. Now take a look at this one. The conversion van hits the potholes, loses it, spins, and then that Cadillac behind him also loses it. The conversion van regains control. The Cadillac driver, he's up the embankment. They sat there for a few minutes, composed themselves, and carried on about their way. But it wasn't just the cars, the semis as well. Take a look at this one. Boom. As these trucks hit the potholes, snow and ice falls. That is now freezing just beyond the potholes, making the conditions just downright dangerous. Look at that silver sports car. No chance. Of the half dozen or so spin-outs I witnessed here this evening, not one made contact with another vehicle. So out here again, 1, 2, 3, there you go, MDOT, lobbing cold patch. That'll fix it till the morning. That's the scene along 94 with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Incredible, Tim. Thank you. Two Livingston County high schools are in shock tonight after a terrible car crash claims the lives of two young girls. One was a junior at Brighton High School, the other at Howell High School. Both were on their way to hockey practice when their car went off the road. Mara McDonald is in Howell tonight, and Mara, that accident slowed down traffic there on I-96 for hours.
You know, the school day was over both at Howell High School and at Brighton High School. Both of these girls were on their way to Lansing for a hockey practice when their car went off the road. Neither would survive.
This is Juliana Ward-Brown and Darian Locklear. Juliana was a junior at Howell High School, Darian a junior at Brighton. Both girls teammates and the best of friends.
Fun-loving, they're the jokesters. Some of the girls have said in some of the Snapchat posts that no matter how hard the skates were, one of them or both of them would crack a joke to keep the girls motivated. Both sweet girls.
They played for the Meyer Tier 1 ice hockey team out of Lansing and were on their way to practice in Lansing on Tuesday evening when the wreck happened. Now, MSP is still investigating, but tell us for some reason the vehicle the girls were in went off the road and into the median on I-96 near Williamston Road. Once in the median, it hit a tree, rolled over and hit another tree. Neither student would survive the crash. State police shut down the freeway for several hours to investigate. Police say alcohol was not a factor here, neither was speed, and both girls had their seatbelts on. Competitive girls hockey is a small community, and news of what happened to Juliana and Darian has spread quickly. It has been a very hard day.
It's been a devastating day, and you know, the families have to grieve more than we do, but nobody ever teaches you how to handle this kind of thing.
Both Howell High School and Brighton High School have sent home letters to parents letting them know what has happened here. Grief counselors will be on hand at both campuses on Thursday. The girls both had a hockey practice scheduled in Lansing for Thursday night, and the Hockey League is telling us they will have grief counselors on hand as well. We are in Howell. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Dreadful. All right, Mara. Homeowners in Pontiac sounding off tonight about plans to convert an old middle school to a seniors apartment complex. The site is right in the heart of their community, and those residents packed a zoning meeting tonight asking the city to halt the plans. We bring in Jermont Terry with what's been the decision so far tonight. Jermont.
Well, Devin, after 4 long hours, the Zoning Commission voted to move the project alone. But some residents left City Hall here tonight feeling that the developer isn't being completely upfront with everything that he or she wants to do with that land. The old Washington Middle School has sat vacant for more than a decade in the Ottawa and Seminole Hills community in Pontiac. These folks, mostly homeowners, sat for hours at a zoning meeting for a chance to have their say.
Respect the residents better than that.
They packed City Hall to hear from the developer who wants to turn the old middle school into a senior housing with around 39 apartments for low-income residents ages 55 and older.
So you want to protect the neighborhood, you want to make it better, don't bring in low housing that could be bad.
The city believes this $11 million renovation project is beneficial.
This is the best chance we've had for development. Otherwise, we sit there and watch it decay.
Having this property redeveloped would be an investment for our future.
But the developer, Venture Inc., based in Oakland County, originally requested a zoning which could allow for a 12-story tower to go in the open space.
Only the existing school. There will be no new construction from Venture Inc. at all.
The commission changed the request, making sure that couldn't happen. But many residents are not convinced the owners won't make plans to build something else down the line on the remaining 6 acres.
I like the idea of the senior building, but I do not like the idea of all the rest of the property being able to be changed right before our eyes.
And for that reason, these residents demand the city take a hard look at the plan. Now, with tonight's yes vote from the Zoning Commission, this now goes before the City Council. But the vote tonight from the Commission comes with a recommendation for the county that they split the actual land, leaving that remaining 6 acres available so that it cannot be developed. Of course, the City Council has to make that say, so it's to be continued. Reporting live in Pontiac tonight, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
All right, Jermont. A string of burglaries and break-ins have neighbors in Oakland County communities on high alert right now. Police from Birmingham, Beverly Hills, and Royal Oak all investigating separate cases of burglary. One man is considered a prowler who police say is throwing rocks into windows to gain entry into homes so that he can steal cash. The other, though, a set of thieves hitting homes in broad daylight. The department's working together to share information and try to track down those responsible.
To share information, and other departments are going to share information with us.
Police are reminding people to double check all doors and windows as well as any security systems. Valentine's Day came early at the Detroit Zoo.
Romantic duos from penguins to polar bears were featured in this year's Heart Fest. Zookeepers gave heart-shaped piñatas to wolves and ice treats to polar bears and camels. Penguins got special rocks that were painted by guests. The zoo says the event is fun for the animals and the guests. Okay.
Wolves and piñatas. What a combo. If there's anything worse than getting the flu, I suppose it would be getting it again. We've got a warning from the experts tonight about why this season that is entirely possible.
Plus, police make a deadly discovery in their own parking lot, how a body went unnoticed for nearly 2 months.
But first, he is the new face of NBC's Olympic coverage, and he's no stranger to Metro Detroit.
The Olympics still has a magnet that brings the world together, and that's, in this time, pretty cool.
Sure is. Mike Tirico going one-on-one with Bernie next.
We can change the world. Find your morning moment here. Does the season have you down? This week is all about changing your mood from winter funk to winter fun.
On Local 4 News today, we're helping you battle the winter blues.
From product tests to fitness trends, find out how you can brighten your day despite the weather outside tomorrow.
I've got the 4 places that'll make you forget about winter and start thinking summer.
The moment you wake up, turn to Local 4 News today.
We get started at 4:30 a.m. We'll see you in the morning.
Let the
Well, we are just a couple days away from the opening ceremony and the Parade of Nations. The world will be watching.
A little something different about this year's Olympics, and Bernie is here to explain what that is.
Well, let's see if we can do this. Fans of the games are used to seeing Bob Costas, who has acted as NBC's primetime host for the last 11 Olympic Games. But now that job belongs to Mike Tirico, a humble guy from Ann Arbor who's as capable as anyone.
Hello.
He is the face of NBC's Olympic coverage, and he's one of the better people you will ever meet. Mike Tirico knows that tomorrow night he's on display for the entire world to see.
I'm trying to keep my enthusiasm down until it gets closer, but I know me. I know I will not sleep well on the 7th. Sure. I'll be ready to go at about 6 a.m. on the 8th and go, oh, wait a minute, we have 12 hours till we do this show. So,
is there a degree of nerves? Because someone once told me if there's not, then you're really not up for
ready
the moment.
for it.
It's in there, but you're sort of hiding it in some way.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't get nervous anymore, but there's definitely adrenaline rush that you all feel when you come on the air.
Tirico is 51 years old, made his mark with ESPN, and has taken over the Olympic role from Bob Costas. Tirico says you don't replace someone like the former host.
Bob Costas he's at the top of the mountain, the Mount Rushmore, whatever analogy you want to use for the best of the best, he's that. And I'm certain that people will be looking at it going, well, Bob did this, or Mike's not doing what Bob did, and that's fine. That comes with the territory. I've said this to other people. There's not one person who is putting on the Olympics and say, hey, Mike's on, let's watch. Maybe my family, and that's a borderline call with my family.
He was born in Queens, New York, but now makes his home in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And with no prompting whatsoever, this guy is a local force slappy.
When you all are doing the 11, you and Devin and Ben, Kim, I'm watching you in my office in Ann Arbor. Somebody's watching in their living room. Somebody's watching in their kitchen. It's a one-to-one connection. And sometimes we forget that. We get lost in the numbers and the ratings and all of that.
And let me also just say, you are the finest promotional machine I have ever seen in my life. You are unbelievable.
You guys are my station. It's my nightly fix of Bernie. So it's okay.
These Olympic Games will hopefully come off without a hitch, but the Korean Peninsula has had issues with the United States over the past year, specifically North Korea.
You start realizing how close North Korea is, and would there be an attack or would there be any sort of a missile test during the Olympic Games? But then when you see that these people in South Korea have lived with that every single day of their lives for the last couple of decades, I think it puts you in a different mind frame. So no, I'm not concerned about going over.
So many events, 18 days from Pyeongchang, and so many moments for Mike Tirico. We wonder if he ever took part in any of these sports in his off time.
You know, in high school, a lot of kids called me a loser. Yes, but no, I was more of a skeleton guy. Thank you.
Got it. You're
Thank
working.
you.
I like it.
Doing my best.
He brought shtick to it, too. I mean, come on. He's prepared for the Olympics. He brings shtick. Primetime coverage begins tomorrow at 8. Figure skating and skiing will highlight the night's action.
It's just a handful of people in the sports broadcasting world that can do it all. And he's one of those guys.
So
and likable.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
so
great.
likable. It's unbelievable. Always got a great attitude.
Yeah. By the way, that will follow our Olympic Zone show, which starts right here on Local 4 at 7:30.
That's right. We're going to have Meryl Davis, too. She's joining our team. She'll help us toe loop our way through the Olympic Games as well.
It'll be great stuff. Here's a look at what Karen Drew is working on for tomorrow night.
It's the story that rocked a local university, frightened parents, and forced police to raid this professor's home.
The defenders take you inside the trial of a former university professor found guilty of maintaining a drug house.
Ketamine, cocaine, marijuana.
Now we're hearing what really went on inside his home.
Was there sex going on at these parties?
Yes. He stated that he didn't think it was a problem at all, that he can have fun with the kids.
The guns, the cameras, the sex and drugs. The full story tomorrow after the Olympics.
Well, you kind of been in training with the little shovelfuls you've been pushing around.
Yeah.
Because it's going to start counting here on Friday, isn't it?
Hope those delts are
Yes.
nice and popping, because
Yeah.
you're going to get some use out of them by the end of the week. But that will be the big story. We do have a few snow showers out there tonight on 4 Live radar, but that's not a much. And it's going to be fading here pretty soon. Don't expect to see any accumulation out of that. And that's all we've got on this side of the state. There's a few more snow showers out in West Michigan that are not going to have an impact on us. This is the big monster that's headed in our direction for Thursday night and Friday. It's still out over parts of Montana. In fact, some of it's actually up into Canada. So it's going to be traveling quite a ways to get here by tomorrow night. But we think that those flakes are going to start flying just about midnight or shortly thereafter tomorrow night. Beautiful sunset tonight behind those snow flock trees. This is one of the shots we got in on Storm Pins from Fowlerville, so we appreciate that shot, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing lots of pictures of what Mother Nature plans to do to us here in the next 24 to 48 hours. High pressure is going to settle in at least for tomorrow. Thursday during the daylight hours, not too bad. It's going to be a mix of sun and clouds. Very cold to start. Temperatures only warming to the low 20s. But we will be dry and we will see some sunshine. So that sort of gets us prepared for what's to come. As we head into the evening hours on Thursday, the clouds increase. And again, that snow not starting until after midnight. So the morning commute on Friday is going to resemble this morning commute very closely. We'll see almost the exact amounts of snow. The only difference is we won't be seeing dry conditions and sunshine towards the end of that commute. That snow is going to keep going. In fact, we'll be uncomfortable for that morning commute, but possibly downright dangerous as we get into the evening commute, because there will be half a foot of snow on the ground in some spots by the time we drive home on Friday night. It eventually starts wrapping up once we get towards 11 p.m., and that will be the end of the snow. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, there'll be some spots down near the state line that pick up as much as 8 inches of snow, but this is a very dynamic system. There's a lot of water in this system, so it's possible that these amounts could change as we head towards tomorrow night. So stick with Brandon and Kim in the morning for the latest on this system. Temperatures will be in the single digits overnight for everybody. The good news is the winds are going to relax, so we're really not going to see much of a wind chill. It will feel like what the thermometer says. 3 to 7 there in the south zone, 3 to 7 pretty much in our west zone, and not much different when you get up north of M59. A lot of single digits, but at least they're above zero there. That's going to be one of the coldest mornings that we'll have to get through, going from 7 to 22 in the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. And then once that snow leaves us on Friday night, we get another burst. That's sort of the cherry on top of the snow Sunday there, Saturday and Sunday. That's going to be about 1 to 2 inches, but the big event is going to be on Friday.
Going to bear watching here. Keep it tuned here.
Yeah, we've got some stuff on Local 4 you'll want to watch on Friday.
Yeah, I imagine. That's exactly right. Good night to stay in and watch the opening ceremonies.
All right, Ben. New tonight, targeting teens, how Weight Watchers is planning to attract a younger generation of customers.
Also, shoplifting showdown. Dash cam video captures what happens when a suspect is questioned by police.